Welcome to the Manchester United versus Aston Villa post-game reaction. I'm your host, Aaron, joined here by United fan Tony, Chelsea fan, Wernie, just had the prediction there, the post-game there, and Juzzy, United fan. Juzzy, I'm going to start with you. You've been on before. Thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's a week's a long time in football, as they say. After last week cheering on a missed penalty from probably crying from a missed penalty, but yeah, it was bad when we performed. I reckon that would probably be a worse performance. Like even I'd say we played worse than even a game against Young Boys. I think we're very predictable that game. I've mentioned on here before how we play very narrow. Our whole team tends to go very narrow, and we just look very easy to defend against. I mean, if you look at the stats, we had over 20 shots, but the reason is we get so narrow, and there's just so many players. We're just taking a lot of shots from outside the box. Like the shots aren't really showing anything. Like in terms of quality wise, Villa had the better chances. I still think we just lack a bit of natural width. You know that I think we're really missing Rashford. Even though Rashford likes to come in a lot, he likes to run those lines, those channels down the left, which kind of stretches a bit. We don't have really any other players that can do that. I thought Sancho would have came on, but we only had one attacking sub left, and I probably would have thought Cavani would have been the best option to bring on. But yeah, I thought we could have been lucky to get a draw, but we didn't really deserve any points out of that.
Yeah, well, you mentioned those shots. If I'm looking at the stats, and that's all I can really go off because I was glued to the Chelsea game, 28 shots for United, only 4 on target. You think that's just complete domination, but Tony, that's not the way the game went.
Oh, I mean, horrible, disgusting, hard to watch. I mean, how else do you want me to explain it? Like Juzzy said, we sat here a week ago and we celebrated a missed penalty in a game. You know what? We probably deserved to get the points last week. I think if we would have got a draw with that penalty at the end of the game today, we didn't deserve it. Half those shots, we said 28-something shots. I think 14 of those may have been Mason from outside the box. Honestly, it's one of those games where you look at the rest of our schedule coming up, and the next 2 months we face most of these top teams. And if we're going and pulling that result against Villa, I'm worried about what's to come.
Yeah, exactly right. We mentioned that in the Chelsea post game. Chelsea's got a bit of a favourable draw coming up. Few easier teams, whereas you guys now go away to the harder teams. So these are the must-win games, especially at home. Villa are no pushovers, but at Old Trafford, you expect the likes of Bruno to step up. He did step up, but it wasn't how we would have thought he would. Matt, what were your thoughts on the game? I know you obviously would have catched the Chelsea game more like myself, but
yeah, I was mainly watching the Chelsea game, but I had the United Villa game on the phone. I was glancing at it for a bit, and it was surprising to me to actually see Ronaldo not be demanding the ball. So I wonder what the conversation will be now in the change room.
I mean, there was a demand. There was a demand. He was behind Bruno. I don't think Bruno was listening. He did the old, I can't hear you, I'm facing the goal, go away.
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of demand from Emi Martinez. He's done the old, what he done for Argentina at the Copa America. He was in there, I'm pretty sure he was saying, let Ronaldo take it. Like he was trying to get in Bruno's head, trying to say, go on, give it to Ronaldo. I want to take him on. Ronaldo didn't look like he said anything, but I think that's a bit, Emi's likes doing that when he comes against a penalty taker.
If it works, it works.
I think Bruno probably had the say on him. I've been here longer. I have been the penalty taker, but you can't. If you want to take him, you need to score them. So I think Ronaldo gets next one, and he'll score, and that'll be it for the rest of the season.
I think we've just seen Bruno's last penalty while Ronaldo's at Manchester United. If I'm being honest,
absolutely.
I heard
it was
interesting. Just before the penalties, they were saying Bruno's scored 93% of his penalties, Ronaldo 83%. That would 100% have been Bruno's claim. Yeah, let me take it. I've got the percentage.
Yeah, I mean,
he has taken about 3 times as more though, Ronaldo.
And now Ronaldo would have shown that video and say, "I take the penalties now."
It's definitely an interesting one because obviously we never ever actually see Bruno go for power. So, like we said about Emi getting in his head, he got in his head. He went for power.
Even his style, he didn't take like the Jorginho style. Like
exactly right. Yeah, I was surprised.
It was just one step.
It's about the only thing I watched of that United game was that penalty because I had it on, but I just wasn't watching.
It looked good for the first 2 meters, and it just kept going. Like it looked
But
good
yeah,
for
I
the
think-
first two.
I think that just showed Emmy's tactics. He got in his head. He would have been saying, "No, let Ronaldo take it," and Bruno just wanted to smash it, just shut him up down the middle. Didn't work. Smart keeper from Emmy. Look, two Chelsea fans here. We're unfortunately on the back of a loss as well, and so are you guys. Like it's 2-1-0 defeats here. I guess it puts both of us. Nobody, loses ground on the other one, but the other teams now have a chance to, catch up if the City or like a Liverpool, for example, now extend a little bit of a gap. What do you think needs to change? What were your thoughts on the lineup, Juzzy, moving forward?
I thought the lineup was. I think the only difference maybe would have been maybe Pogba might have been in the midfield, but I think it was pretty much straightforward. I thought wasn't too many surprises in the lineup. I still think Sancho needs a bit of time. I think he hasn't hit the ground running, obviously. Obviously, we've seen a lot of players do that in the Prem. I'm hearing Rashford maybe back after international break. I don't know if he goes straight to the team. I don't know. I think like Villa played well. Like I think the difference is they played similar against you guys. The thing is Chelsea bagged the 3 goals. Like they're more clinical when a couple of chances came.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I think the lineup was alright. I think I think those in against the big team, like say we got the big teams coming up. I think the style of play that suits us works better against the big teams. Like we always look better on the counter. Our good chances today were on the counter. Bruno over the shoulder tried to hit Greenwood a couple of times, and he got through a couple of times. Emmy swept it up. I think the last year or so, Ollie's tried to play more of a possession based, but we just struggle. We don't move the ball quick enough. Like we don't have that width. We get to the bylines, and Wan-Bissaka looks turn in, plays it back in to the middle, and I don't know. I don't see any player changes that we got that changed it besides maybe the Rashford one and Sancho hitting form, but we have to come up with something really.
Yeah. Just you mentioned like Ole's style. I don't think you have the team to play possession-based football. Bruno, great pass with the ball, but he likes to play very direct. Pogba the same. Pogba slows you down at times, but the players you got on the pitch don't play possession football. Ronaldo's not going to hold a ball up. He wants to make it runs in behind. Luke Shaw getting injured early on. Do you think that changed the game at all? He's been fantastic this season.
I thought he was poor, to be honest. I thought Delo played better than him today, to be honest.
Shaw's been poor for the start of his season. He's still got a Euro handover. Let's be honest. He hasn't hit that form that he had last year or what he had at the Euros.
I think even Maguire's lacking a bit too. Like even I said last week, every game he does that one time a game, he does that dodgy back pass. He done it again today.
I did say that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird one. Like I think the sort of style we play is a quick, high tempo, aggressive. Like sort of that goal we scored against. Can't remember which one it was. The one Jesse scored. There was a quick when Martial
last week versus
the
West
dummy.
Ham.
No, the week before I think it was the one where they done the dummy and then he put it.
Oh, yeah.
That sort of football possession. That's why we struggle so much to break down low blocks.
By the way, we're not stopping until I get my say on the lineup. So just keep going,
absolutely, yes.
I'm pretty sure I know who Tony won't be happy about in the lineup in the midfield, but yeah.
Well, Tony, talk to us.
Okay. I'm not Ole out, so don't get this wrong. But when you're putting a player like Paul Pogba out of position on the left wing to have Fred in your midfield or even McTominay in the midfield, you don't need both of them. We're not a team, like we said, that we're going to hold possession. We can't play out from the back. You put 2 defensive midfielders there. We look shaky anyway. Why not go out there and try and outscore your opponents? Instead, you're playing Pogba on the left wing where he's getting lost. The width problem, he's getting dragged into the midfield because it's where he wants to play. Greenwood wants to play striker, so he's drawing into the midfield. Half the game, you saw Ronaldo standing out left. I was watching the game with my parents, and my mum goes, "Where's Ronaldo? Is he even playing?" And that was in about the 60th minute. Then on top of that, we lose Shaw, we lose Maguire. Fair enough. He then waits to the 82nd minute to bring on Cavani. Like, to me, that's Ole going, you know what, I'm content with a draw, but I'm going to try and sneak a win. Why not bring him on in the 75th minute, give him 15, 20 minutes, let him attack. And then the penalty we saw today, obviously that discussion hasn't been taken. There's been no discussion in that change room of who is the penalty taker. Because if you watch the footage, Ronaldo wanted the penalty. Bruno wanted the penalty. This is something you would have said 100% hands down, Bruno, you're taking the next penalty. Or no, Ronaldo's taking it. That needs to be had because did that get in his head? Maybe. I think I said to Juzzy today, we're going to get a penalty. And there's our penalty that we got. Emmy got in his head. Ronaldo probably got in his head. And I think the ball just landed in my front yard. So I better get him to sign it. So, yeah, I think Ole doesn't know how to play any other style than those two defensive mids. And I'm looking at our fixtures. We go to Villarreal. Villarreal come to us. Everton come to us. Leicester away. Atlanta in the cup. Liverpool at home. Tottenham away. Like, it's not going to get much prettier for playing football like that. I don't see us winning many of those games.
Yeah, mention that penalty. I think if you get that penalty last week where Ronaldo should have had a penalty or two, I think Ronaldo takes them purely because he won it and he would have stepped up. But like you said, I think Bruno, benefit of doubt, he's been at the club longer. So he gets the penalty. But now that he's missed it, I think Ronaldo takes them from now on. Tony, I definitely don't want you to sugarcoat anything because at times you have to play it a bit safer when we're doing our usual wrap-ups. So post-game reaction, you want the the moments. I want to know how livid you are at the games. And as you said, those upcoming fixtures they're a nightmare. You've got Everton at home, which is probably your easiest game of the lot because then you've got Leicester, you've got Liverpool, Tottenham, City, and then you're back to Watford. So how many points are you expecting to pick up in those games?
After today's performance?
Hopefully Ollie ends up under pressure because that's when we
Ole
play
out.
this football.
He does love his under pressure moments, doesn't he?
Every time Ollie's under pressure, we go on a run. So
listen, this is a plea to every United fan. Go to the Football Tragedies on Twitter. I'm putting an Ole out post. Get behind it, and we're going to win the league, all right? Get behind it, and he won't lose a game for the rest of the season.
All right, well, anybody with some closing thoughts before we wrap this up?
Is it international break yet? I'm over the Premier League.
It's coming soon. That's what we can look forward to. And who would have thought? Because you never look forward to international breaks. All right. Well, thanks for jumping on as usual, Juzzy and Matt. Tony, obviously, we'll be back again for the more calm midweek review of the games.
Maybe.
Whether or not we both turn up, who knows? But yeah, all right. We will catch you in the next one.
See you later.